Hi guys, and welcome back to the second video of the day, and this is looking at the in-game problems that have come along with 6.0 and my thoughts really on this in-game section place that we have to live with now. It's terrible. I really don't like it. Okay, so what's the first thing I don't like? Well, the mini-map. Why is the mini-map small? The mini-map is tiny. That mini-map needs to be way bigger and in the bottom right hand corner, because they've made it smaller and then shoved it up in the top left corner. Now Pain God has said that this whole HUD was meant to be customizable, so we could put stuff in different places. That mini-map needs to be in the bottom right corner, because it's so small, it's tiny, it's terrible. And why the map is greyed out, I don't know, because it makes it harder to see some of the contours and stuff like that and some of the objects on the map, and it's especially prevalent on the big map. Now you're seeing another big problem there. When you zoom in, it makes a zoom sound. That's what I like to think the sound it would make when it zooms in. It's like zoom, zoom. Right? I hate that. That is horrible. It's horrible to my eyes. Like, why does it zoom in? Can we just have it back to like it was? Can we revert it back to how that aimed in before? Because before you just pressed left trigger and you were aiming straight down the sights. You know, you were looking straight at a tank. You didn't have to go zooming in and then zooming out. It just looked in, straight out, easy. It made it easier to look at your surroundings. It gave it less sort of clutter time in that way, and that was annoying. That is a big annoyance. I hate it. That needs to go. Okay, this other issue as well is the team bar at the top. That needs to be bigger, because for some reason they've made everything smaller. I don't know why they've made everything smaller. It's tiny. Okay, that needs to be bigger. The mini-map needs to be bigger and in the bottom right hand corner. They need to screw over that fourth equipment slot. That fourth equipment slot needs to get rid of, and we just need the tank information about the enemy tank above their name again. Okay, because at the minute I can just see the QL and he's got like a tiny little health bar. It's tiny with a tiny little icon. That needs to be bigger. Okay, that needs to be bigger, way, way, way bigger, so I can actually see them, especially at longer distances. Because at longer distances, it's hard to pick them out a lot of the time, and it's very annoying. So that needs to be bigger. We need to be able to see their HP numbers in the bar above their tank like before, because that's just the way it needs to be. The line of sight is another thing that's incredibly annoying and terrible, and I hope that's a bug. I've not seen anywhere confirmed whether it's a bug or not. But like that 60 TP is still spotted, but he's behind that rock. So I don't know if he's taken any hits. I don't know if he's taken any damage. I have no idea. He's been tracked and he's lost half his health. I didn't know that because he was hidden behind the rock. The line of sight is terrible. That needs removing. It's horrible. Get rid of it. And give us back the line of sight we had before. So the next thing is green and red teams. What was wrong with green and red? Why have we got blue and orange? Blue and orange is horrible. Okay, we need green and red teams back. The blue health bar above my chieftain needs to be green again and sort of get red when it gets to the point when I'm low health again, because at the minute it just stays blue, which is terrible. And sometimes and the module's damaged. You can see I've got modules damaged here. I didn't realize. I think I've got my viewport damaged. I think that's the viewport. I'm not sure. I don't know. The new icons are completely unclear as to what is damaged and what isn't. It's incredibly irritating. I don't know what was wrong with the old images. The old images were really clear as to what was damaged, whether it was your Amarak, your driver was dead, your gunner was dead. That needs to change. Again, revert that back to the old pictures, the old little tank hub thing that we had. Give us that back, because that is not very good. It's not clear. It's poor. Like I said, the minimap needs to go back into the corner. The next one that annoys me is the ammo. The ammo choice loadout at the bottom just says APDS L15A4. Well, if I wasn't experienced at the game, I probably wouldn't realise that that is my APCR. That's my standard round. Now, obviously, when it's gold, we know it's the premium round, so that's okay. But it doesn't tell me that the premium round's heat. So if I accidentally go into a game in a tank that I haven't got a clue about, it's brand new to whatever, and I haven't realised what the shell is, and I didn't know that that second shell was heat, I wouldn't know that the heat rounds will get absorbed into the tracks. I'll just be firing at people going, why is it getting absorbed? Well, it's because it's heat, it's not APCR. So that needs to change. It needs to be more clear. It needs to, again, it needs to be slightly bigger because it's quite small. Yeah, that listing there, okay, I don't know why we have to click left bumper and right bumper to see what the names of players are and what the names of tanks are. It's quite annoying, but I could probably adjust to it where I just, instead of not having to know what the players' names are in the game, I can just look at what the tank names are. That's okay. The big map needs to be not grey. It needs to be just not grey at all. That needs to change and be coloured into what the map terrain colours are, like before, so that it's just not all greyed out. So right here, you're seeing, in this brawl here, you're seeing another feature, and that is I've activated the food consumable. So now, my chieftain has a 5.8 reload. So the reload, DPM is now absolutely insane, and it's just so much better than this 113. So we managed to shut him down, just because our reload is so much better. The kill feed needs to change and needs to tell you what tanks are dying. Because at the minute it says, I killed another player. That needs to change and tell me what tanks are dying, okay? Because that is not information that I need to know. I don't need to know that I killed so-and-so. I need to know what tank just died. So over there, what tank died? I don't know because I didn't get to see it in time. I haven't got a clue. That's another bad piece of information. That needs to change massively. What else? Well, we've got the damage indicators back. The grayed out thing is a bug that's gone. The cap circle, when people are capping, we need to know whether how many people are in the cap, because at the minute it doesn't tell you how many people are in the cap, it just gives you a timer of how long it's going to be until people are kind of cap out. So you don't actually know who's in the cap, which is bad, so they need to re-add that, because that's terrible. I think it's probably a little bit more clear now as to who's capping and where, so that's okay. But yeah, there's a lot of things in this HUD that's got to change. Now this video is going to be a lot shorter than the last one because I can point it all out in one replay what's wrong, and that's okay. I'm going to show you one more thing as well that is really wrong. But yeah, it's also got to be a little bit more clear as to when you pen someone, when you do damage to someone, because at the minute it's a little bit unclear when you damage people. So you kind of shoot someone and you go, oh, did I pen them? Did I ricochet? I don't know, because it's really unclear. So that needs to change again. You need to make it more obvious when you've penned people, when you've shot people. It needs to go gold again above the name, so that you know it's your damage, and the damage numbers need to be bigger. That is just the way it is. This is artillery, by the way, and this aim time is sickeningly quick. Now, the accuracy of the artillery hasn't really changed much. It still doesn't hit as much as you fire at. And to be honest, I think the aim circle does lie a little bit, because there's quite a lot of times I've aimed in all the way and shots have flown outside of the reticle by miles. So it might be a bug, but at the minute, how fast it aims is just ridiculous. Artillery shouldn't aim that quickly. It's just filthy. That's another thing that we're seeing right now in this replay is XP. Why do we need to know how much XP we're getting for everything we're doing, right? We don't need to know that. Okay, that's something that needs... That's just extra information that we don't need. I don't know why it's got that. It's not Battlefield or COD. As well as that, the Battlefield little ting noise every time you'll hear it. There it is. That noise is a little bit irritating, and we don't need it. Please can we just go back to having the simple gun sounds when we're fired, and the ricochet and the bounce sounds for when we're firing, because it's just annoying, and I really don't like it. This whole HUD is it's just not that good to look at. I'm not a fan of it. It's also way too futuristic for this game. This game is a lot... I mean, it probably could be to do with the hint that we're possibly getting tier 11, maybe more than that, futuristic tanks, but it's just... It doesn't fit the aesthetic of the game all that much. So here we're going to see another thing with the aim time, quick aim time of artillery. It's like, now I'm fully aimed. One shot. He was driving in a straight line, he was stopped, but obviously I just aimed in so fast that it didn't matter, because I could just go, look at that, I fired. Whereas normally it'd take me a lot longer to aim in there. So this update I would rate, like I say, the garage bit probably 4 out of 10, 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10, something like that, because there's a lot of good features and there's a lot of bad features, and there's a lot of features that are bad, but if they tweaked it, could be okay. This in-game, I'd probably rate it 2 out of 10, maybe less than that, 1 out of 10, because there's just too much wrong with this HUD. There's too much wrong. And when it got released, there was too many bugs that you couldn't tell whether they were supposed to be a feature or if it was a bug. And you're seeing, because this was earlier, before the bug change, everyone on my team is greyed out. That's a pain in the backside. And obviously that's gone now, so that's irrelevant. That's okay. But we didn't know, because the lack of information we got before this massive update was staggering, because we just didn't know what was a feature, what was new, what was not. We got the update, logged in, and everything had changed. And who knew what was different? No one. Except for the super testers. It's awful. So I implore you, Wargaming, if you're going to do a massive change like this, just tell us what's changing, what's different. Give us screenshots of what things are going to look like. Because if you gave us a screenshot of this HUD and what it looks like when I was staring at another tank, people could tell you and look at it and go, oh, I don't like the looks of that. Could you change? You know, this needs to change, that colour needs to change, everything. I implore you, give us more transparency, please. Because you may think us as CCs know more than you. We find out probably the day before you do, legitimately. We probably find out the information the day before you do of what's going to change. And even then, we don't know everything, because we don't get told. So when I logged in, it was like, oh my god, this is horrible. And obviously my first reaction to this change of everything changing was like, oh my god, it's disgusting, I hate it, I hate everything, can we go back? Now I've got used to it a bit more. There's some things that I've found that I do kind of like, and some things that I really don't like. And this in-game HUD is one of those things that I really don't like, and unfortunately that is part of the game experience. So there's a lot of things that need to change with this HUD, and like I say, I implore Wargaming to give us more transparency before updates and big updates. Tell us more things that are going to change. Even if it's just the week before, if it's the Tuesday before, you know, the week directly, Tuesday directly before. Tell us what's changing, please. We need to know. So I hope you've enjoyed my 2 update videos. One was more comprehensive than this one, but this one I could just quickly point out things that I saw and showed you as we went along. And I hope you enjoy the video. And like I say, we just need more transparency. That's all. I don't like this in-game HUD at all. I think it's horrible to look at. I think the tank outlines are horrible. They need to go back to being red. It needs to be more obvious when you're aiming at people. Everything needs to be bigger as well, like the mini-map being small, the tank markers being tiny. Yeah, generally needs to change. So, as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.